Hello and welcome to the Week 13 predictions. I'm going to try and roll through this real quick. Maybe talk about something at the end of the video real quick. We're going to just jump right in. This week's going to be promising for games. First one up is number 15 Navy at Houston. Now, I'm picking Navy to win this one. I think Houston's had a great season, but I think Navy is just on fire right now. I think Navy beats Houston, but it's going to be a close one. Western Michigan at number 24, Toledo. I'm picking Toledo to win the game, but I think Western Michigan can hang with them for a while. Next is number 20, Washington State at Washington. And while Washington State is the ranked team, I am picking Washington to win the game. I think Washington has played some great football this year as well, and I think they're just going to, I got a feeling they're going to win this game this weekend. Next is number 4, Iowa at Nebraska. I'm picking Iowa to win. However, Nebraska is full of surprises, and I would not be entirely shocked to find out that Nebraska beats Iowa. But I'm going with Iowa to win it. Next is Oregon State at number 17, Oregon. I'm picking Oregon to win the game. I think Oregon's on a streak right now. They just beat Stanford and USC back to back. I think they take care of their in-state rival here. Next is number 7, Baylor at number 19, TCU. I'm picking Baylor to win this game. I think TCU's not got really much of a chance. They're crippled right now, losing their starting quarterback and their star wide receiver. So I'm going with Baylor on this game. Next is number 8, Ohio State at number 10, Michigan. Now, I have a bit of a bold pick here. I'm picking Michigan to win this game. The reason being, Ohio State just seemingly fell apart after that Michigan State loss. And I think that Michigan has a better defense than Michigan State did. And I think Ohio State's going to struggle with them as well. I think Michigan could give Ohio State their back-to-back loss this season. Next is number 1, Clemson at South Carolina. I'm picking Clemson to win this game, mainly because South Carolina lost to Citadel. Now, while that is an old game between those two, South Carolina should never have lost to Citadel in this case, and I got to think they don't really have much of a chance against Clemson. Next is Colorado at number 23, Utah. I'm picking Utah to win this game. However, Colorado can pull it off if they play some good football, which they have been doing towards the end of the year here. Number 16, Northwestern at Illinois. I'm picking Northwestern to win this game, but Illinois' defense is pretty good. And Northwestern's really not got a lot of offense. They got a good offense, but not a great offense. I think this is going to be a close, low-scoring game. I'm going to give it to Northwestern. Next is Penn State at number 5, Michigan State. I'm picking Michigan State to win this game. I think Penn State's not got enough in the tank to beat them, but they can hang with them for most of the game. Next is number 14, North Carolina at NC State. Now, this in-state rivalry is going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a close game, back and forth, but I got to go with North Carolina on this one. Next is number 2, Alabama at Auburn. I picked Alabama to win. But keep in mind that Auburn has been a trouble game for Alabama forever. So even though Auburn's not having a great season, they could pull this one off. It is a huge rivalry game, but I'm sticking with my pick of Alabama. Number 22, UCLA at USC. I'm picking UCLA to win this game as long as the good UCLA shows up. And if the good UCLA shows up, I think it should be a back-and-forth, high-scoring game as well, seeing as the USC offense is the best part of the team. I think they'll keep up with UCLA, but I got to give the win to UCLA. Next is Connecticut at number 25, Temple. I'm picking Temple to win this game, while Connecticut's coming off of a big win against Houston last week. I think Temple's coming off a big game against Memphis last week, and I think these two match up pretty well, but I got to give it to Temple. Next is number 18, Ole Miss at number 21, Mississippi State. I picked Mississippi State to win this game, but an interesting fact about this game is if Ole Miss does pull off the game and Auburn pulls off the upset against Alabama, Ole Miss will win their side of the SEC. That is just an interesting fact there. But the way I've got it picked, I think Alabama's going to win, and I think Mississippi State's going to beat Ole Miss. Number 13, Florida State at number 12, Florida. I picked Florida State in this game, and there's a reason why. Florida's played some really, really bad football. They keep winning, but they've just played some bad football in the last few weeks. Florida State has played a couple of games here and there that were just bad, and they've managed to win those games most of the time. But I got to give the win to Florida State because I think that on a whole, they're a slightly better team. Number 3, Oklahoma at number 11, Oklahoma State. This is gonna be a fun one. Bedlam it carries a lot of national title weight, playoff weight, and it's been a few years since this has been present in this game. I'm picking Oklahoma. I think they're just a more solid team and a slightly better choice here, but Oklahoma State is good and they will keep it close. So I would say I would go with Oklahoma in this one. And that brings me to my last game. Notre Dame, number 6 Notre Dame at number 9 Stanford. This game was really hard for me to pick. It was I went back and forth on it a lot. Number 9 Stanford, they have McCaffrey, and McCaffrey's going to run up and down on this Notre Dame defense. He's going to get yardage and he's going to score. But what really tipped my scale in this game is how Notre Dame played last week. They turned the ball over 5 times. That sounds awful, but they were playing the number 1 defense in the nation, and that defense is known for causing turnovers. Not a good thing for Notre Dame, but here's why it turned into a good thing in my mind. Notre Dame put up more yardage than any other team has put up on Boston College all season. That means they put up more yards on the number 1 defense than any other team that's played them. They would have potentially scored more points on the number 1 defense than anyone else has if they had not turned the ball over. So the turnovers, they didn't become good things, but what would have happened if they hadn't happened did sway my pick. Notre Dame's offense can get it done when they don't turn the ball over. And that's going to be the key to the game. I think Notre Dame is going to win by a small margin, and it's going to be because they don't turn the ball over. If they do start turning the ball over, I think Stanford's going to get the edge. So Notre Dame, don't turn the ball over, they're going to win. If they do, I go with I think Stanford wins. But as for my official pick, I'm going with Notre Dame. I think they're going to come out with the win here. So that's it for the 19 games this week. Next week's going to be a little weird. I got to work out what I got to do because I haven't made pre-predictions like I have for the whole season so far. I haven't made those for the conference games because I didn't know who would be playing in them until just about recently. Now that I have time left, I'm gonna do a little bit on the rankings. This previous just came out on Tuesday. So in these rankings, something happened that really left me scratching my head. And what one of those things was Notre Dame dropping to 6th place. Now, the reason this left me scratching my head is they won. I understand dropping. I would have put them at 5th. I would have put Iowa and Michigan State ahead of them. But here's my issue. Oklahoma jumps up to number 3. Oklahoma barely held on to beat a TCU team that doesn't have 2 of their star players. So I don't get it. I don't get them jumping up to number 3 and ahead of a Notre Dame team who, by the way, beat the one team that has beaten Oklahoma this season. Oklahoma's one loss is to Texas. Notre Dame beat Texas. Notre Dame's one loss is to Clemson, who's currently number 1 in the nation and undefeated. So I don't understand Oklahoma jumping up into the 3rd place. I understand Notre Dame getting knocked out of 4th. I understand that. That actually should have happened. Their performance, while I find good things in it, also was not the best performance they could have given, and therefore the other two who had better performances, Michigan State and Iowa, should jump over them. However, Oklahoma doesn't make any sense to me because there are several things I can point out in Oklahoma's scheduling that don't, they're not, yes, they have had stronger strength of schedule towards the end here, but overall it's not that much stronger than Notre Dame's. And the fact that the one common team they have is Texas, and Texas beat Oklahoma, and Notre Dame beat Texas, that should mean that Notre Dame essentially beat Oklahoma. So I don't understand them going ahead, and it's a weird jump, and I don't know where the college football playoff committee was getting that. But hey, let me know what you think. Comment below. Click the like button. Subscribe if you're liking the videos. And thanks for tuning in.